This is Anthony Flatt, and you're listening to the Business at the Speed of Sell podcast, Fargo edition.
Welcome to the Business at the Speed of Sell podcast, where you learn how to accelerate the growth of your online and offline businesses, profits, and personal income. Tune in daily to get the tips, tricks, and tactics that have generated over $100 million in online and offline sales. Now, here's your host, Anthony Flatt.
Today we're going to be talking about building your business by outsourcing. Now, outsourcing might not sound like a way to build your business or to make more profit, but it really is. Now, if you think about it, if you're paying $1,000 a month for web services and administrative services, and you can cut that to $500 a month, then you just made $500 a month in profit. And there's so many activities in business today that there's no way we can do them all. And hiring somebody and training them is a tedious and long process. There's no guarantee that that person's going to work out. There's no guarantee that you'll get your investment of time, effort, and energy into that person, that you'll get that back. So outsourcing is a really good way to find the right candidates for the jobs that you have, to pay them for the work that they do, and to get a very good return on your investment. Let's talk a little bit about what outsourcing is. As you start and grow your business, you're going to have the need to get some specific tasks done, or you're going to have the need to help one of your employees get some specific tasks done. And this is where most people look to outsource. In the early days, the most common reason for outsourcing was cost reduction. Today, however, it's often done to help an employee either gain a skill that they don't have or to maximize their time by taking basic tasks and offloading them to somebody else. This frees up your current employee to be focused on more strategic activities. More often than not, it's more cost effective to hire a specialist to get a specific job done than it is to take one of your current employees and train them, or hire a new employee and train them for these new responsibilities. There's a large number of reasons why you may want to outsource. You may want to do it just to keep your employees focused on their current tasks. You may want to do it because you don't have enough employees and you want to be able to outsource some of those responsibilities. You may have a specific time-sensitive project that needs some added resources. You may need some of your current employees to work on another project and you need somebody to backfill their responsibilities. Or you may need to have somebody who's a third party, somebody who's outside of your company, work on a sensitive project that you don't want your internal employees to be part of. These are just a few of the many, many reasons why you might want to outsource. Now, when it comes to outsourcing, you also want to understand that there's things that you need to do to be able to be successful in outsourcing. You can't just give a task to somebody and expect it to get done without that person knowing exactly what it is you want to get done, when they need to get it done by, and who they're supposed to be working with. And this is something that sounds very basic, but it's where a lot of people fail. They go out and try to outsource a specific project or specific task, and they haven't really well defined what that project is, or what that task is, or what the specific outcome is. And they hire somebody, that person starts working on a project, then they start telling them, well, try this, and can you do this for us, and can you do this for us? And then next thing you know, your outsourcer has no end to their work. It just keeps going and going and going. You're getting frustrated because nothing specific is getting accomplished. They're getting frustrated because you constantly keep changing what it is they're supposed to be working on. And it's not a good situation all the way around. I think this happens more often than not, and businesses and outsourcers get very frustrated, and it makes for a difficult relationship. So as a company, before you start hiring outsourcers, you need to make sure that you have a very good understanding of what your company's objectives and goals are. You have a strategic plan and a long-range vision for what it is you're going to try to accomplish. When you do outsource, make sure that you get an agreement. You either use a service or you have an agreement with your individual so that they know exactly what it is they're doing and you know exactly what to expect. Make sure that you have tools for open communication. Oftentimes you communicate a lot when you're looking to hire this person, but once you have them on your staff, then you go back to being busy doing the things that you were doing, and sometimes they get left without the ability to really communicate back and forth, so they just try to work on the project based on their own understanding. And without good communication, they can oftentimes go off on a tangent. It's not an area that you specifically wanted them to go on, and again, they get frustrated for not knowing what it is they're supposed to be doing. So communication is very important. And lastly, if you're not going to be managing this person directly, you need to make sure that whoever's going to be managing this person is involved in the early processes of hiring this person and assigning the tasks to this person so that they have a very good understanding of what the expectations should be on what this person can do and what the time frame is that they should be doing it in. Now, there's a lot of different services that you can obtain through outsourcing, and there's outsourcers and freelancers all over the world that can do these tasks. And some of the more common outsourced tasks are call centers, consultants, advertising, social media, record keeping, bookkeeping, purchasing, dispatchers, administrative assistants, content writers, article writers, website developers, logo design. I use freelancers to edit my audio podcasts, to create my show notes, to transcribe my content, to edit and post articles, for web design, for all of my graphics. I have a VA, a virtual assistant, that does all kinds of various tasks that I don't have time for. And I have a podcast manager who manages all aspects of getting my podcast out there, published, and produced. So there are a lot of things that you can outsource. And today I'm outsourcing almost everything. I don't have any full-time employees today. And everything I need to get done today is either a service that I buy or something that I outsource. I'm obviously a big fan of outsourcing. I think outsourcing has changed the way businesses do business today and will continue to do business in the future. There's multiple different ways to outsource. You not only have the online remote outsourcing, which is what I talk about most, but there's also on-site outsourcing as well. There's people that have physical labor jobs that they can outsource or they hire out. And that's been going on for a long time. This online virtual admin, web development, outsourcing your IT group, outsourcing your accounting, outsourcing your, marketing and development. Those are relatively new concepts, but there's something that's growing. And as companies do more and more of this outsourcing, they really need to think about what they're wanting to get accomplished when they're trying to hire outsourcers. Getting started with an outsourcing company, you have to think about things like, do you want to work with individual freelancers? Do you want to use one outsourcing company? Do you want to use multiple outsourcing companies? How exactly are you going to define this relationship? And what's going to work best for you and your company? So before you try to outsource to your first freelancer, make sure that you have defined the scope of the task that you want them to accomplish and that it is extremely detailed. The devil is in the details. The more you can put down on what specifically it is you want them to do, the better the chances are they're going to be successful, you're going to be happy, and they're going to be happy. You can't just say, I want somebody to help us with social media. I want somebody to help our accounting department get back on track. You have to be very specific on what it is that you want them to do to help accomplish that specific goal. And if you're struggling with the ability to figure out exactly what it is you want to do, you need this task done, but maybe you don't have the experience to figure out exactly what the steps are that are needed. That's not necessarily an issue. When you do publish your posting for this job, go ahead and put in there that you're looking for this person to define exactly what it is that they can do for you. I've done that in some of my job postings. If I want somebody to help me with SEO, or I want somebody to improve my website or improve my audios, I'll ask them, tell me specifically how you can help me. And not everybody will answer those questions, but the ones that do will help you hone in on what exactly the steps are that you need to have them take to help them be successful delivering what you're looking for. We've talked quite a bit about the concept of outsourcing. Now let's talk a little bit about the freelancer, the person who's going to actually do the job that you're looking to have done. Now, there's lots of people out there looking to earn extra money, and there's also lots of freelancers out there that earn a full-time living just doing freelancing. And a freelancer generically is someone who's usually self-employed, although they might work for an outsourcing organization, but generally they're self-employed and they take on these tasks and responsibilities based on their specific skill set. Now, freelancers are not your employee. You don't pay employee taxes and you don't provide them with employee benefits. They traditionally work on a specific task for either a specific period of time or until a specific task is accomplished. Your freelancer could be full-time or part-time or on an ad-needed basis. And you may be working with them one-on-one, paying them directly, or working with them through an online service or through an agency where you pay the online service or the agency and they manage the freelancer and pay the freelancer from what you pay them. I do most of my outsourcing either through an online service or through an outsourcing agency. I do have a few freelancers that I pay directly, but for the most part I use an online service or an agency because they have a lot of tools and resources for managing these freelancers. I'll have 6, 8, or 10 freelancers working for me at any one point in time, but these are not people that are working for me full-time or even part-time. Most often they're working on a specific project for a specific amount of time. However, several of these freelancers I've been doing business with for 6 or 8 years, and I continue to go back to them because we've built this loyalty up and this trust up where I have specific tasks. I know they can accomplish them. They work hard on them to deliver what I'm looking for. They have a good understanding of what I like and what I'm interested in and what I like to see them deliver to me. And they know that I'm going to pay them. I'm going to pay them on time. So it's a very good relationship. You really have to find them just like finding an employee or finding a business partner. Now, you'll find some freelancers who don't work well with you. And honestly, if it doesn't work out, just part ways politely and move on. There's so many freelancers out there that not all of them are going to be very good, and not all of them are going to be a good fit for you and for what you're looking for. That's enough for today. Let's continue tomorrow with part 2 of 3 in this Building Your Business by Outsourcing series.
If you have a question for Anthony, then head over to www.anthonyflatt.com and leave him a voicemail message for a chance to have your question featured on the show. Thanks for listening to the Business at the Speed of Sell podcast at www.businessatthespeedofsell.com.